Awesome. Don't know what that means. All right, so let's take our Schoology tour first. All right, let's look over here, okay? So if I'm looking at this, okay, go all the way down to week 4 again. Last week was a short week. I hope you had a good fall break. Ask that you did a quiz from that. This week, we're going to try to finish our Unit 4. So again, we're going to finish Unit 4. Make sure you've looked at each video lesson and each assignment that go with it. Okay. And then please try this. So if you're like, hey, I want to try this before I watch it, remember you can find that in the notes packet. Okay. So if you go all the way back into week 2 and you find the notes packet, you'll find the blank review that you can try on your own first. So we're going to review lessons 5, 6, and 7 today, and then we'll get some time to practice. All right. Lesson 5, we talked about some different types of measurements and different conversions. So I wanted to pull up our notes from that just to talk about it. And I strongly recommend that you have this out next to you when you're taking your test or quiz. All right, I like it. Positive peer pressure. If you guys want to turn on your cameras, you are more than welcome to. Again, it is not required, but it helps. I think it helps you pay attention. And that's how I feel about the screens. So this is what I was talking about. And again, this is from your notes. You're going to want to make sure. I think, can you see it yet? Has it popped up? It's just a black screen on mine. Let's try again. All right. Okay, we can see it. So again, what we want to look at is this sort of thing at the bottom, these equivalents. Smaller black screen. Okay. Unplug it. Try again. It's weird. All right. This is a life skill. It's called adjusting on the fly. I've got an idea. Let's go ahead and do that. So I'm going to share it a different way. Share it from our screen and we'll just pull up our notes. So again, like I mentioned earlier, we've got these notes. If we scroll down to lesson 5, this was what I was trying to show you right here. So it's important to know this. And again, this isn't something that you necessarily have to have memorized. And that's why I recommend you have this in front of you or you write it down. But they are useful. And again, you'll use these kind of throughout your math career and potentially even in your life. So 1 foot is the exact same as 12 inches. We probably know that. We may know that 3 feet equals a yard. So again, if you're like a football fan, in football, they talk about yards. So that's kind of interesting. And then 1 mile is equal to 5,280 feet or 1,760 yards. So those are all sort of distances, lengths. Okay, we can also talk about capacity, which is like filling up our cup, filling up something. So in these examples, they're kind of like liquids. 8 fluid ounces equals 1 cup. 2 cups equal 1 pint. 2 pints equals 1 quart. And 4 quarts equals 1 gallon. So again, this can be useful if, say, you are cooking something for a big family gathering and you need to double the recipe or you need to triple the recipe. And you say, all right, well, I don't want 24 fluid ounces. I want 3 cups. That'd be easier to measure. And sort of one of the last ones that we use a lot is weight. where we're talking about 16 ounces equals 1 pound and 2,000 pounds equals 1 ton. So 1 ton is 2,000 pounds. All right, let's see here. The other thing that we talked about, and again, let me see if it will work this time. I thought it said something about, yep. So that, again, you have this available to you. It's already shared on Schoology in your notes. So you can just click on that and access it anytime. Let me see. Let me see if I can share my screen this time or if we get the black screen again. Yep. Okay. That's all right. I'm gonna restart my iPad and we'll just do it on here. All right. So the other thing we were talking about was solving one-step equations through either adding, subtracting, or multiplying. So if we, and this is to do with fractions. So again, fractions, they're not scary. Okay, they're just different types of numbers. And I know everyone is more than capable at going about it. So let's say that we have something like x minus 3/4 equals 2. So again, I'd want you guys to write this down. I'm going to give you a little bit of time to try it on your own, and then I'm going to talk through it. So try this on your own real quick, and then we're going to talk through it. So when I try to solve these problems, I need to separate the left side from the right side. And anything I do on the left side, I have to do on the right side because of this equal sign right here. So I see that my goal, my ideal goal is to get x by itself. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to say, okay, what's the opposite of subtracting 3/4? What is the opposite of taking away 3/4? Well, that's going to be adding 3/4. So I'm going to add 3/4 on the left side, which is going to cancel these two out. But if I do it on the left side, I also have to do it on the right side. So all I'm left with on the left is x, and on the right, I have 2 plus 3/4. So 2 plus 3/4, this isn't quite 1, so I'm going to get 2 and 3/4. 2 and 3/4. Okay. Let's try a different problem. It's going to be similar, slightly different. Let's use -1.5. Oops, let's not do negative. Let's just do 1.5 plus y equals let's say 5. All right, let's say 5 and 3/4 just to make it a little trickier. Okay, so go ahead, solve for y. What do we think y is gonna equal in this case? Again, hint hint, let's separate our left side from our right side. All right. Oops. All right, so let's look through here. Let's just zoom in right on this problem. Oh, nice. Oops. All right, so what I have to think about in this problem is, all right, if my goal is to get y by itself, I got to think about how do I get rid of this positive 1.5? It's just sitting here. So to get rid of this positive 1.5, I have to subtract it. So I'm going to subtract 1.5 on the left side, and I'm going to subtract 1.5 on the right side. Now we're going to rewrite this in a second, but let's just do this. So again, our work is neat and organized. Once again, this cancels out. All I'm left with is y. That's my goal. That's what I wanted. And then we got to think about how to potentially solve this. So there's a couple ways to solve mixed numbers. My favorite way is to make it an improper fraction. Who can remind me what is an improper fraction? It's an improper fraction if the top, which we call the numerator, is bigger, greater than the denominator on the bottom. So what we need to do is we're going to multiply by our denominator and we're going to add our numerator. So 5 times 4 is 20. 20 plus 3 is 23 over 4. And then 1 times 2 is 2. 2 plus 1 is 3. So I have minus 3 over 2. Can I subtract numbers that have a different denominator? What do we think? Can we shake our head or nod our head? Can we subtract numbers that have different denominators? No, right? We cannot. So we have to do something to this on the right side to make it so that it's the same. So if one of my denominators is 4 and one of my denominators is 2, I'm going to multiply the top and the bottom by 2. I'm not changing it, okay? I'm just rewriting it with the same denominator. So 23 over 4 minus 6 over 4. What is 23 minus 6? Jacob, what is it?
17.
23 minus 6 over 4 is 17. Awesome. Which means we got to figure out how many 4s go into 17. So I'm going to count 4, 8, 12, 16, and then I have 1 4 left over. So 4 and 1/4. Awesome. Let's talk about solving with multiplication, and then we will move on. Okay, so if I have something in, or if I have a variable in my numerator, so again, let's use the letter A over -2 equals, let's say, -3/5. Again, I need to separate this. My goal is to solve for A. How am I going to find A? Just think about it. Okay, think about it, and I want you to try to solve this on your own. We'll do it in 30 seconds. To undo division, I need to multiply. So I'm going to multiply because it's a -2 on the bottom. I'm going to multiply it by -2. It's like -2/1. You don't necessarily have to draw that because anything divided by 1 is itself, but it makes it a little bit easier to look at. These numbers are going to cancel out. So all I'm left with is A. What does a negative number times a negative number equal?
Positive.
Positive. So -3 times -2 is +6, and 5 times 1 is 5. So we don't want to leave our number like this because we have an improper fraction right now. So I think, how many times does 5 go into 6? It goes into it 1 time, and I'm left with 1/5 left over. +1 and 1/5. Okay. Just going to put up some different problems. Again, pick and choose them. You do not have to do them all, but I want you to pick and choose some of these problems and just try on your own. We'll do this for a few minutes. Let's say till about 22. Got about 40 seconds left. I'm just going to scroll down so you can see some of the answers. Okay, so you can see some of the answers. We are going to do number 8 together. Okay, we're going to do number 8 together. All right. Let's share the whiteboard. All right, so number 8 was 9 1/3. See if I can draw it on here. 9 1/3 equals 5/3 n. There it is. So a little bit different, but I know we've talked about this. In order to undo, so again, my goal is to get this n by itself. How do I get n by itself? I need to, Jacob, you got an idea?
Don't you have to divide?
We got to divide, and when we divide fractions, we do something crazy. It's called multiply by the reciprocal. So when we divide fractions, we actually multiply by the reciprocal. So that means I'm going to, instead of dividing 5/3 is the exact same thing as multiplying 3/5. And if I multiply on the left side, I also have to, or on the right side, I also have to multiply on the left side. So let's dig into this. Again, if I think about this, I could rewrite this as 5 times 3 over 3 times 5. Either way I look at it, that's 15 over 15. It's all going to cancel out. So all I'm left with is n. But we got to talk about this number on the left. Again, Mr. Larson's method to solving these mixed number fractions is to turn it into a mixed number. So I'm going to keep 3/5 the same. I'm going to keep 3/5 the same, but I'm going to change 9 1/3 to a mixed number. And I do that by multiplying by the denominator and adding by the numerator. So 9 times 3 is 27. 27 plus 1 is 28. And this is 28 over 3. Before I multiply it all out, because this is going to give me a big number, does anyone see anything I can maybe cancel out? Is there anything that could cancel out here?
The 3s.
The 3s, right? 3 divided by 3 is going to cancel out. So that just leaves me with a much nicer number, 28 over 5. How many times does 5 go into 28? 5, 10, 15, 20, 25 with 3 left over. 5 3/5. So again, very similar to what we're doing. The slight difference was we had to multiply by the reciprocal. That's probably as hard as it's going to get for this test. All right, so let's talk about our Class Connect assignment, and I will send you on your way. Go to the home page, okay? Go to our Schoology page. If you look under the Class Connects assignments folder, today's date, again, the first day of December. I gave this to you, so again, I want you to try this. How many feet are in 3.5 miles? Again, feet is right here. 5,280 feet are in 1 mile, so you need to make that adjustment. How many cups are in 2 gallons? Again, cups are the C, gallon is down here, so you got to think about, I need to go from cups to pints, pints to quarts, and then quarts to gallons, or vice versa. And then one of these we just did, okay, we just did this one, 28 over 5. I should really change that to be 5 3/5. I'll change that, but that's it. That's this one, and then you guys can go ahead and solve this one in a very similar way, okay? That's a little, I'm going to clean this up so it looks a little nicer. But that's all I've got for you. Have a great rest of your day. We will meet next week. So same time, same place next week.
Thank you. Have a great rest of your day.
Yep. Bye.
Bye.